topic of today's video is being yourself. Being yourself can be hard, and it's like, aren't I always being myself? And yeah, for sure. But being yourself is like not changing yourself to impress someone else.
8th grade. Boy, that year sure was awkward and embarrassing. Ugh, am I right, people? The only thing that initially interested me about this movie was the fact that it was written and directed by Bo Burnham, a popular musician and comedian that I occasionally listen to.
Do you wanna see a magic trick? Do you wanna see a magic trick? Do you wanna see a magic trick? Then pick a card, any card. Like magic isn't real, you idiot. Read a book. Magic isn't real, you idiot. Read a book. Magic isn't real. Or is it?
I never took him for one to make a critically acclaimed coming-of-age dramedy about a teenage girl trying to make friends on her last week of middle school, but he's done it. And he's done it really well, honestly. A lot of credit has to go to the lead star, Elise Fisher. While on one hand, her character is definitely a teenage girl who frets around on social media, is annoyed at her dad, is concerned about being cool, and if her crush notices her. But on the other hand, she's also probably the most relatable character I've come across this year. Especially in regards to how nervous she is around people, how she is taking baby steps to overcome social barriers, and how she has a YouTube channel that promotes messages of confidence and self-image that almost get no views at all. There's a level of earnestness brought not just to her performance, but to the whole movie in general. Her father is a genuinely loving parent who's trying to connect to her while she's glued to her phone. The friendships she makes feel natural and earned. Everyone's school supplies as well as her room are full of little cartoon characters and junk that actual middle schoolers would have. All this subtle detail right down to the fact that her face is covered in acne, which, thank you. That is the one thing that always annoys me about these shows and stuff set in middle or high school is how damn clean everyone's faces are, 'cause they're not! There's a strong use of social media, all those Twitters and Tumblrs and BuzzFeeds and Snapchats. But like, the thing is, it never feels trendy or forceful. It feels naturally woven into the story as practically every teenager has some sort of account now. It's not trying desperately hard to be hip to those millennials. In fact, it even makes fun of that line of thinking, especially in scenes such as the principal dabbing, or the sex ed video instructor saying, "It's gonna be lit." It helps that it never shows any contempt for these kids. They're just acting and behaving the same way I probably would have then. Also, kudos for the MPAA for giving a film targeted towards teenagers an R rating. Guess that whole researching what a blowjob is scene really wrestled the jimmies of whoever's mom was on board. While this is an all-around positive review, I can't entirely say I love it. And I feel like my opinion on that has a lot to do with my personal bias against modern coming-of-age movies. I'm referring to stuff such as Boyhood or Adventureland, both of which I felt were kind of aimless and boring. Now, while this is better than those two, it did have stuff that kind of reminded me of them, mostly in that the pacing can feel kind of sluggish, and the visual presentation doesn't look all that interesting. But in a way, it does sort of suit the tone. It doesn't need anything too flashy, but it could have looked better. Regardless, all in all, this is a sweet and tender little movie, brought to you by this man.
Yo, my girl's epileptic, cause she's the one I'm jerking with. Come on, you Asian child laborer, show me what you're working with. Ooh, large machinery.
It has great performances, relatable characters and circumstances, and you can recommend it to almost anyone. I give it a 7 out of 10. Gucci!
Can't have sex with members of the same sex, so if the sex can't be different, the sex can't be same, the only sex left is some left-hand shame. And girl, I left you cause you left the game, and if that don't feel right, then you can write my name, cause I'm Bo, yo. I'm the greatest rapper ever, and whether you think it better or not, think it better, you're not, don't need a sweater, I'm hot. If I can't think of another rhyme, then I ought to think of one.